How to make $1 million as a teenager. You might think I'm crazy for saying that, but there are actually many documented cases where this happens. And the important thing is, if a teenager can do it, so can you. These are people that didn't have any access to anything that you don't have access to. So I'm going to go through ways that teenagers have become millionaires, but also I want you to think about how you can utilize that information to become a millionaire yourself. Many people underestimate the time value of money, and that is leveraging your money, getting it to work for you earlier rather than later, because time is on your side. Let's talk about the time value of money. It's a core principle of finance that money is worth more today than it will be tomorrow. The question is, how can someone earn enough money young enough to live financially free for their entire adult life? Here are 5 examples of teens who broke the mold and became millionaires. And you can do this too. These are ideas that people at any age could use, but it's just more striking when you think about a teenager becoming worth multi-millions. The point I don't want you to miss is for a teenager to become worth millions, there's a very short time between opportunity and the result, just a few years. So think about some of these strategies and how you could utilize those over many years. Just think if you use that over a couple of decades, what you could do. If these teenagers are making this happen over a few years, imagine what you could do utilizing these strategies over decades. First, a tech startup. When you think about creating massive wealth over a short period of time, obviously probably a tech startup pops into your mind. So let's look at this example. Learning how to develop software has never been easier thanks to ChatGPT and other AI programs. Nick DeLazio, who sold his news summarization business, Sumly, to Yahoo for $30 million at the age of 17. This is a great example. So this tech startup, what did he do? He just summarized information that was already out there, and he packaged it in a way that made Yahoo want to buy his tech startup. So what do you have access to? How could you create something in this area where you could create a tech startup where you could make a lot of money? With AI and all these other avenues out there, you might surprise yourself of what you could create, and maybe you'll end up like Nick with millions. Now you might think, but I don't have all the skills Nick has. I maybe know 10% of what this kid knows. Well, 10% of 30 million is still $3 million, and I think all of us could use an extra $3 million. So think about what he did and how you could use that in your own life. Number 2, social media marketing, something you and I have access to just like everyone else. Sander Stage is just one example of numerous teens and young adults who found a way to leverage the power of social media marketing to generate millions in revenue. Sander hit his first million at age 17. Most people are barely driving at 17. But what's the important thing to take away from this is that social media marketing is something that you can do. That's something that you can learn, the same thing that Sander learned, because he didn't have access to something you and I don't have access to. He just took the time to learn it and actually become an expert in it, implement it, and then turn that into millions. So what can you do with social media marketing? Number 3 is app development. It used to be that app development was reserved for people with all kinds of coding experience. But today, app development is available to most people. So I'm going to tell you the story about Ben and what he did with app development and why you might be able to do the same thing. Software development is still a big winner even if you don't find a large tech firm to buy you out. Ben Pasternak, who developed the viral game app Impossible Rush at age 15, took his millionaire profits and started his own tech firm. So there's problems that apps could be a solution for, and by doing what Ben did, creating an app could create millions for you. So if you think about Ben, truthfully, he probably just liked playing games on his phone. But then he leveraged that into learning how do these games get made, and he found out how to make an app to make money. And if you think about the way people make money on apps, it doesn't take hours once you develop the app, because you're getting either fees for them to use the app, you're getting subscription fees, or you're being able to charge advertisers to be on your app. So think about games, think about your phone, think about ways that you could come up with new ideas, just like Ben, where you could make millions. The other thing to consider is once you've built the app, you just need to maintain it. It's not like you have to rebuild it all the time. And because of that, once you get it running and you actually get money coming in, the profit margins get huge. App development could be a good thing for you. Number 4, be an influencer. And you might think, well, that could never happen to me. But I have 2 stories of people that I personally know who've made millions from being influencers. So the first was someone I know who started his YouTube channel when he was 12 years old. And he started making money. By the time he was in college, he was working 1 day a week and making more than $100,000 a year. So his friends used to say to him, "Are your parents helping you out? I don't see you working. Are you taking out student loans?" And he laughed because he was paying for his own schooling, all his tuition, all his books, all his room and board, and had tons of extra money to do whatever he wanted with, just because he figured out how to start a YouTube channel. I know another influencer who just recently started their business. She has built that business into where she's making over $250,000 per month as an influencer. Now, that's not necessarily going to happen to you, or it certainly doesn't happen to everyone, but thinking about how you or someone that you're close to can become an influencer, and that way you can get a lot of revenue, a lot of income by just taking videos of yourself and what you're doing every day. So think about being an influencer, or think about helping someone you know become an influencer. Number 5 is be an investor. When you hear the term investor, maybe you think of some old guy with gray hair or something like that. But I'm talking about very young people, teenagers, and how they can make money by being an investor. This may seem far-fetched for a teenager, but there are quite a few examples of young people who hit it big in stocks or real estate, like Miles Daly, who sold a $10 million portfolio at the age of 19. How did he do that? Did he have some magic thing that no one else knew about? No, he had access to the same information you and I have access to. So becoming wise and smart in investments at a young age can help you to get tremendous performance and to build serious wealth. Now, that might not happen to you when you're this age, but if you do that over the period of 5 or 10 or 15 years, you'd be shocked about how much wealth you can amass by knowing investments and becoming an investor. What's the point of these 5 things I just went over? Is it so that you can be rich by the time you're 30 or 20 or 17? It's actually this message. This is what I want you to hear. There are no special magic things that these people know about that you don't have access to or you don't know about. It's a matter of actually making no excuses, taking action, and moving forward so that you can actually achieve some things. Maybe you won't achieve what the people I just mentioned have achieved, but maybe you'll even surpass them. You don't know that, but you have the information that everyone has. Take action, take the time to learn this stuff, to be smart, and to become an investor that can grow your wealth in all these areas. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found value in this, and I hope you click the next video so you can learn more from me.